Good day, amazing viewers of Phala TV. Welcome to my premiere show, Womatters with Royal Dora. It's exciting, it's big, it's explosive. As we are celebrating the month of August, we decided to put on together these beautiful topics for you to discuss and for us to get in dialogues with matters pertaining to women. And today I have a young woman who is my guest. She is Maphuti Maloba, and she's going to share such an amazing insight on the topic that we have today, what a modern woman really wants. And while we're on it, I just want you to subscribe on Phala TV, get on our socials and get in touch with us, because we're going to discuss topics that are not talked about, in the secular world, and we're going to have fun as we deliberate on such matters pertaining to women. Good day, amazing viewers of Phala TV. Welcome to Womatters premiere with Royal Dora. We just want to tackle an issue that relates to women. And with me, there is a guest that will be joining me to tackle this most not talked about issue that relates to modern women in the 21st century. While we're on it, please subscribe to Phala TV. Follow us on our socials so that you can get in contact or in connection with some of the issues that we'll be discussing in the future. So with me here today, I have a guest by the name of Maphuti Maloba, who'll be joining me today for this very beautiful discussion. This modern woman, we just want to discuss her role culturally, career-wise, socially, financially, economically. So sit with us for a moment as we indulge in this topic. Welcome to the show, and I really am honored to have you today as we are going to really get on with this topic. I just want to ask you to tell me, as a young black woman, to tell me a little bit of your understanding of what is a modern woman.
Okay, firstly, thank you for having me on the show, and I'm very honored. And I'd say, as a young black woman, what I view as a modern woman is a woman who is able to fully play her role in terms of showing up for herself, being present for herself, and taking up space even in industries where believed women cannot be cannot be featured in or cannot take over in.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I think the most controversial issue here because when we talk about a modern woman, we will be not biased, or we would just be not talking about her, not differentiating her from something else, which is a cultural woman or a woman that lived before our time. So what is a woman's place? How do you define the modern woman's place? Because in the past, culturally, we are used to women being put back at home, and we all know that they say that a woman's place is the kitchen, is in the kitchen. But today we see young women like you who are dominating the marketplace, women that are dominating in the boardrooms. So can you really explain to us that what is it your understanding that if, let's say, you meet a partner and says, I was taught by my mom that a woman's place is in the kitchen. What is your understanding about that role? And do you think that we are meant to dominate the kitchen, or what we are doing as women in the modern day, is it really applicable for a woman as a standard that she should uphold?
I think the most important thing for me is that a woman is able to, we're one of the most amazing people, one of the most capable people, and I think we shouldn't be limited to one place or one area. So I think a woman is able to dominate, whether it's the kitchen, whether it's the business industry, whether it's the engineering industry, whether it's whatever, you name it. But I think a woman is something so powerful that she doesn't function in an area where she's restricted, but rather she needs you to open up whatever door that is there and let her just show her capabilities. So I believe personally that a woman can still be a homemaker, a home creator, but at the same time still be able to take up space and be an engineer, be in the boardroom, secure bags, be in business, travel the world. I just think the world is women, and you can't restrict them. You can't restrict where they're supposed to be.
I do understand, and I think that is very valid. We need to take up space, and we need to dominate where we are placed. You know, I understand that we are created equal. Men and women were created equal. There are those that are feminists. You know, there's feminism where there's a quote that I love that said, "Women who wants to be equal with men lack ambition." But in my own understanding, even from the biblical point of view, is women are created as equal as men, but we are different. Can you maybe, let's say, in a setup of a relationship, remember now, in women own guns now. They are police women. In our mother's times, there would be like a woman wouldn't say, "I'm leaving." If it's in a relationship, she wouldn't say, "I'm leaving," because there was basically nowhere to go. Because now the husband was the provider. The husband did everything. So they were the sole providers. We know that a woman was left at home and then the husbands would go and work. But today, when a woman says, "I'm leaving," you must know she's really leaving.
Yeah.
And then because why? She's got money. She's able to, own her own independence. While we at it, I also want to talk about independence. So the woman now is career driven. Now we share bonds, we share payments, we share car installments. We've got a voice. But I want to us to talk about we are equal. Male and female, we are created equal. But the difference, how can a woman, remember, even if we are created equal, we do not possess the same amount of strength.
Thanks.
And also our place, there should be a variation between a man and a woman, because the modern man is quite confused. The modern man doesn't know what actually a modern woman really wants, because we want to be on the same wavelength. How do you explain to women of your age how to manage their homes, their relationship, even when they find themselves earning more money than men, when they're paying the bills? How does a woman come in balance of showing her strength or her capability or personality as a woman in the house where a man is present? How does a woman, her behavioral patterns, when I earn a lot of money, and does that make me become superior to the men that I'm dating if they are not making the same money as I am?
I think firstly I just like to just outline how I feel like a feminist, we actually had a conversation about this as young girls on Instagram. I feel like a feminist cannot be Christian. Because these two contradict each other a lot. Because with Christianity, they're pushing more for what we believe is a cultural woman, for what our foremothers were back then. A woman's place is the kitchen, a woman gives birth, a woman does that. So the two cannot be put in the same breath, and you either have to choose one. You either have to be feminist or you are going to be Christian. And in terms of like relationship dynamics, I personally feel like it would have to be different for everyone, but the advice and maybe a little experience that I would have is that being a woman and being given a platform to grow yourself doesn't do damage to a relationship. I personally believe it actually adds more value, because it, especially in the times we live in, it's very important for a woman to have what is hers, to have her own, because I always tell my mom, I can't ask for money to do hair for the rest of my life. I need to sometimes take that decision. And there's a lot of peace that comes with financial freedom. And I feel like just because a woman has financial freedom, whether she's earning more than a man or earning less than a man, that's where equality and mutual respect comes in a relationship. That's where I feel like the whole issue of a woman not belonging to the kitchen is not saying that she cannot fulfill her duties. It's just saying that is not where that is not her.
She's
that is
mandated.
she's not mandated to do
there.
that.
Yeah.
And it gives man a platform to step up and show themselves, like to just rebrand and recreate the ideas of how they see a woman. To show them that yes, I am a woman, and yes, I'm supposed to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But as much as I can go out there and be in the business world and bring food on the table, it is only fair for you to also play your role. See me as an equal. Because I think culturally, women were more treated like slaves.
Inferior.
Yeah, made to be more inferior. So
and they still are in
and
other
they still
countries.
are. And even in a lot of marriages presently, they still you find a man tells you you cannot dress up like this, but goes and has a concubine with a woman that is what he doesn't want you to be, because he feels when he oppresses you and he takes away that freedom for you and keeps things cultural, that is where he's going to be able to control you, and that is what being a man is. So I just think it's very important for women to grow themselves and empower themselves, because it also makes men realize that this isn't mine to own. You know, he doesn't own you just as much as you don't own him. So both of you need to be there to help each other grow, help each other fulfill your biggest passions and dreams together. And I think if the grounds of your relationship is always about respect and developing yourselves and knowing that we are equals, then that's where a relationship can be healthy and you guys can actually grow together. Because there's no one stepping anyone down. Instead, we're continuously pushing each other to be the best. So he can come and cook and you can go and make money, and it's okay. Doesn't mean he's weak, and it doesn't mean you are superior. It just means you're both able to do and be who you want to be at your fullest potential without being restricted by anyone or anything.
It's very understandable. I also think the modern woman's biggest cry is a man must provide. But in my journey, as I learned as I was growing up as a single mother, I realized that most men they're fixed, or they pay more attention on what they should bring on the table. But what I've also seen is a modern woman needs affection, and then it's not entirely money in a financial value. You being a provider as a man, provide for my emotional needs. Women lately, I think they want to be listened to more than they are given money. I know for sure there are women who loves money and they go in relationship with that intention, but because we have developed ourselves, like socially, like culturally, we have upped the game. We are going to college. We have options. We run our businesses, successful businesses. We've got our YouTube channels. There's a whole lot of skills. Even those that are not educated, they're able to get skills and make money. So a modern man normally finds himself, I was reading about a caveman, like a prehistoric man that lived in the caves, that is emotionally detached from, our femininity. So the struggle of a modern woman is when we're crying out and saying, provide for me, it's not entirely in a financial value. Yes, we do know that a woman's got needs. But I've realized that, yes, our identity, we don't have fathers. We grew up in a fatherless generation. And when we get to connect with our men, we want them to touch, the girl in us, and we want them to speak to the inner us. But then a modern man, you find that he's a bit... he doesn't know that. He doesn't know what affection is, because he was not taught to be affectionate. He's a caveman. He lived in the caves. He had his own father, but his father never said, okay, when you have money, you pay the bills. When you have money, you buy your woman flowers. So you find that our modernity, if I could put it that way, we come out as unsubmissive. We come out as very demanding, as very nagging, because someone doesn't listen to us. And basically, we just want to be listened to. Someone must attend to our needs. You know, I've realized even in my own experience, I love it when someone asks me, "Are you warm? Are you wearing socks?" You know, it doesn't matter what I have in my bank account, just that affection. So I believe when a man asks, what does, because this actually was it came out from a man. I said, I'm gonna have a show. What do you want me to talk about? What do you think? Says Dora, you know, he even gave me a voice note. Says, ask them, what does a modern woman really want? You know, and then I realized that men are also confused because they don't understand what is it that we want, and simply. It's not hard to figure out. Yeah, so I just want you to like really explain to me, what do you think about men being providers? Is it entirely monetary, or is it broad? And because we can provide for ourselves. Imagine if I have a man and providing for myself. What do I want? What do I still want? Do I still want meal or airtime?
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
I feel like what a woman wants depends on different types of women, but in this instances it would sort of form as like a guide. Whatever that I'm going to say would sort of form as like a guide, but they should always approach it in a way of understanding that women are different, because there are still women that still love cultural men.
Yes, yeah.
I sit at home and you go out and you fend for me.
Yeah.
But for women like us, women who fend for themselves, who go out there and take up space in every place. I think it's important for a modern man to understand that it's not just financial, because let's be honest, money is important.
It is
very important. And you have different types of people in life. You have women that come from families where their fathers gave them everything. So automatically I expect that from you as my partner. Not saying I can't do it for myself, but that's just how I was used to things being, you know. So I expect him to sort of give me that. And if that is not what he wants to give me, teach me. You know, I feel like relationships is always, you always need to teach each other. I teach you what I want and how I feel things should be, and you teach me how you feel things should be. So a modern man should be someone who understands that they do still have to be a provider, just as much as a woman does still cook and everything. It's just that in this instances, because you're dealing with an empowered woman, you guys are meeting each other halfway. But it doesn't mean that you still shouldn't play your manly role, your role of providing. And providing isn't just only limited financially, it's very broad.
As we in discussion, I just want us to take it a little bit further. Take me back to submission. What is your submission regarding submission in a relationship, in marriage?
Well, submission depends on who you're dealing with. Like I said, a Christian woman and a feminist are not the same thing. But as a Christian woman, speaking from a Christian woman point of view, I feel like that's why it's important for you to know who you're dealing with. You know, because for who you're dating, yes. Because I cannot submit to what I do not know. Yes. You know, it's not like a cultural woman where you married, whether you know me or don't know me, you submit it or automatically. You have to show me who I'm dealing with. You have to show me the man you are, the man you want to be, and I have to decide if that's the man I want to submit to or not. And I think that's the important thing before marriage. That's something you need to get clear before you go into marriage, because then you're submitting to what you know you are capable of handling and you're capable of dealing with, and the man who you know deserves your submission. Yeah.
And submission is not weakness.
No.
Yeah, submission is not weakness. Submission is yielding to, you know, power and the man, the headship of the man. That's my understanding.
Yeah, it's just what do they call it? caressing his ego.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Because I mean, a man does want that. I'm a man. You know, we cannot take that away from him as much as we don't want him.
Society
Yeah, as much as we don't want him to close us in.
Yeah.
So we can't also take away that platform for him to be a man and feel like a man. So I feel like submission is one of the ways of doing so.
Yeah, and clothes, you know, what media portrays about a young modern woman, their dress sense, and really, is it an expression of beauty or is it an expression of saying, you know, I need help, I've been through so much, and the kind of clothes I wear depicts, you know, how I feel from the inside. What's your take on clothes, modern women and how they dress up?
I think a modern woman is someone that has a voice and someone who's able to express themselves in different ways. You know, I believe I'm a powerful woman, so that's why I like dressing up in formal. I like wearing your shorts. I like heels because that's how I express myself. I like makeup, you know. And someone comes and they are more into spirituality and they want to wear reggae clothing, they want to wear dukes or whatever. But I feel like a woman is allowed to, and someone feels like a wild girl, and there's nothing wrong with that. And she wants to wear her shorts that are showing her bums and whatever. But that's how she expresses who she is. And I still feel like every woman in every way that she expresses themselves deserves respect. Right? And I think actually men should feel lucky for that platform, because you get to understand the woman who you are you getting into a relationship with, or you being attracted to. So I think it's good for women to express themselves, to express how they feel, and be respected for that, because that also opens eyes to things such as rape culture. It helps people understand that a woman isn't calling for it because of how she's dressing, isn't she's not, don't subjectify her because her pants are revealing her body, because she's wearing a bikini on the beach. You know, she deserves that respect. And it also helps men who do have that problem of objectifying women, for them to realize that if I see a woman and she's walking around like this and I feel a certain way, then I have an issue to deal with. There's something that I need to fix within me, because this person still does deserve respect. And if that's what she feels free in, then who am I to take it away from her?
Yes, definitely. So in your expression is like clothes, it's a depiction of a voice of a woman. Their expression, this is who I am. My clothes speaks for me when I'm quiet, when I'm not saying anything. That's basically what a modern woman says. By the way she dresses, it shows her personality. Yeah. And marital expectations in terms of giving birth in marriage. What's your take on it? Because I don't think the culture has shifted. Like we spoke about a culture of woman. So what do you think? Should we have a voice? Should I choose when I'm married that I just want to have one child? Or maybe basically I don't want to be a mother.
I think this goes back to the issue of understanding the person you are in a relationship with before you marry them. Because I have to know if you want to have kids or not before I marry you. These are conversations that you need to have in the beginning, actually, before you go into marriage, because you find women like me who want 5, and maybe the person that I in a relationship with just wants 2, and that is where, before we get into a marriage, we should reach an agreement. Someone has to reach a compromise. Either you're giving me 3, or we're having 2, or we're having 5. Right? And I also think women and men need to be very realistic around this whole baby topic, right? Because you might want 5, but what does your financial stance as the both of you say? Does it allow you to give birth to 5 children? Does it allow you to give birth to 2 children? Right? Unlike the olden days, in this instances, in terms of relationships and marriage, decisions are taken by 2 parties and not just 1 party. So that's why it's important
taken by 1 party,
by 2 parties instead of 1 party. So it's taken by you and your husband, or you and your boyfriend, the decision making in the relationship. You know, it's not just back then where I want 5 and you will give me 5. You know. So it also goes back to the whole thing of talking,
Yes.
knowing who you are marrying before you marry the person. And I think women are allowed to be, and it doesn't mean anything less of them if a woman doesn't want to have babies. She's not entitled to, it's her body at the end of the day. And if she feels she doesn't want to experience the changes, I think it's her choice. And I think whichever man that goes along with that choice must be someone who is understanding and willing to go through the choice with her.
I think also when we spoke about submission, you spoke about rubbing a man's ego, something like that. It would be very difficult for you to get married to someone that you're not in agreement with, because that would be very difficult for you to make such decisions, because we know that the role of marriage is multiplication.
Yeah.
So when I get married, the expectation even in the community is that I must give birth to a child. So it means when a modern woman is making decisions, she must be very inclined to the kind of a relationship she's in.
Yes.
Yes, it's good to have a choice, but then when you have a platform where your choice is not valued, then you cannot make any decision. So as we close in, privacy in relationships, you know, the social media, there's everything.
Passwords.
People are fighting over passwords and so forth. What's your take on it? If you're in a relationship, how does privacy? How is privacy maintained?
Yeah.
Should I still be private when I'm,
Yeah. I think people deserve privacy, whether they're in relationships or not, because at the end of the day, I'm still an individual. And having your own privacy doesn't mean I'm doing anything that is of disrespect to you. It's about also that's why it's also important to set boundaries as an individual. So it's if you set boundaries and your partner sets boundaries, you know that you cannot do certain things because those are the things that rub them off the wrong way. It goes hand in hand with privacy. If I tell you I don't like you going through my bag, it's not because I have trust issues. It just makes me feel a certain way and it makes me feel invaded. So for me to not feel that way, I discuss that with you and I talk to you about that, and I feel like it's important. I personally want to have your password. But if you're not comfortable with it, then it's okay. I mean, you can't have everything you want.
Okay. Can he have your password?
Yeah, definitely.
You don't
I'm
have
a
a
free
problem.
bird. I don't
Yeah.
go through my phone, do whatever you want. Because also men need to understand, me having your password is not me wanting to go through your messages. Sometimes maybe you have a better phone than me and I just want to take pictures.
Yeah.
Usually it's always the case with me. I want
And
pictures.
also, how do you be in a relationship with someone that you cannot trust?
Exactly.
Trust is very important. You need to be having someone that you can trust. I mean, if we cannot have each other's passwords or we cannot invade each other's privacy, I always say if people are capable of having sex, but they cannot give each other passwords. I mean, sex is so intimate and so private. So we cannot be in a relationship where we kiss and do all these other funny things, and then I can't access your phone. But you are touching my body every night.
Every night. But I think that conversation is different with every woman. Because for a woman like me, sex isn't like, oh, I'm having sex. So you can choose to give me your password, you can choose not to, and we can still go ahead and have sex. It's fine.
But remember, now we're talking about marriage. We're in a marriage now. Let's say, it's a marriage.
But also another thing about trust. Remember, trust is constantly rebuilt. Because at some point, if you're living with someone, trust is going to be broken at a certain point.
Definitely.
So privacy isn't about just me trusting you. It's just about I deserve that and you deserve that, and learning not to overstep each other's boundaries. And if you're not comfortable with it, then we'll just reach agreement that is not how it's supposed to be.
What works for us, because at the end of the day, what we want is unity. In as much as we, after development, like your cultural shift and so forth, but we still need to understand that there's a vast difference between a man and a woman, and then each one of us must know their rules, must know their position, and their ways, how to, otherwise we'll end up breaking each other in this life. We'll end up not being able to fulfill each other's needs, because we are trying to, compete, compare, and comparison, we all know, is a thief of joy.
True.
So what we basically want to do is, a modern man can live in harmony with a modern woman, and they can be fruitful and they can multiply. And when when two heads are really in agreement, there can be great exploits. Many things can come out of a solidified union, So yeah, I think that's the end of our discussion for today, and we are hoping to have you in our next show, because
Me
you're
too.
such a pleasure to have.
Thank you. It's such an honor being
Thank you
here.
so much. And yeah, thank you so much, viewers of Phala TV, for joining us today on this auspicious discussion. I'm very thrilled to have such a young woman with so much knowledge and insight on matters pertaining to women of our age. And I can't wait to have you again on our next show.
Me too.
We have some exciting topics that are lined for you. Be beautiful, be bold, be you, and go out there and take the world by its lapels.
Yes.
And thrive.
And thrive.
Thank you.